Hi, on the Woodpecker today, I make this support so I can bring propane tanks to the cottage. I used to buy my propane from the dépanneur. Not anymore. But I still have one 60-pound propane tank that I want to use. The problem is that I have to carry it straight when it's full. Keeping it strapped to the pickup like that would damage the paint. So I'm going to use 2 of the 4 holes I have on the box to hold my tanks. To do so, I bought some ash. It was the cheapest hardwood I could find. This rack will be very simple, but I still need to surface some wood. When I'm done, I cut it to the right dimensions. After several cuts, I'm done. I just have to do all the brittle joints. I begin with the mortises. When both cheeks are cut, I remove the waste with a series of cuts. Here they are, both short pieces. For the long ones, I begin by cutting the tenon's shoulder. Next, the cheeks. But when I try a dry fit, one joint won't fit together. I fix this. Now that everything fits well, I dismantle it and spread glue on the tenons and also into the mortises. And I put it all back together. Next, I put clamps. This is not that complicated. Long clamps for the long sides, short ones for the short sides. And I also put 4 other clamps over the joint. While the glue dries, I can take the measurements of the box's hole, the depth and its size. Then, I cut some wood to fit this. Next, I need to drill a hole through this block. So, I begin by marking its center. Then, I put it on my lathe, and with an extra long bit, I drill a hole in the center. Okay, now that I have a hole right through, I need to round over the corners of the blocks so I can slide them into their holes. This is perfect, but when I try to put the frame over the tank, I notice that I am half an inch shy. Nothing a jigsaw can't fix. Now that it's perfect, I can mark where I need to put the rail that will hold the tank in place. I also mark for the small tank. Before cutting the rails, I measure them with the frame itself. When both of them are cut, I can glue them in place. First, I spread glue on the long pieces and on the end grain of the rails. Then I put the rail in place. But this won't be strong enough. So I put 2 clamps to hold the rail in place and drill some dowel holes as deep as I can. When the hole is done, I pour a little bit of glue and spread it around. I also apply some glue on the dowel and push it into the hole. After removing the excess glue, I can cut the dowel. I put 2 dowels at each end of each rail and let the glue dry. When it's dry, I can plane the excess of the dowels flush with the rest of the frame. Before putting this in place, I cut the block at 45 degrees. And now with the holding blocks in place, I can mark where I need to drill the holes in the frame. Now I just need to drill them. And with this last hole, I can try the rack in place. Since it's perfect, I remove it and lift the propane tanks into the pickup. Next, I lay the frame over the tanks and lock it in place. To stop the tank from moving around, I add a wedge in one corner. And with this wedge, I'm ready to bring some propane to the cottage. I know this isn't much, but this rack will serve me well in the future years. And don't forget to come back to the Woodpecker.